We are the Keyboard Samurai, a podcast focused on sharing insights to help those working in cybersecurity companies, be them technology or services. Each session, your host, Wil Klusovsky, aka Wil Klu, sits down with professionals in our industry to illuminate topics that will help your security biz, team, or self be better. Let's hack into it now. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Another exciting episode, Keyboard Samurai. As always, like, subscribe so you can be reminded of all this new stuff as it comes out. And today we are joined by Jay, good friend Jay here. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and why we care?
I don't know if you need to care or not, but I appreciate you having me on, Wil. My name's Jay Aigner, run JDA QA. We are a software testing consultancy based out of Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and we help custom software development shops and SaaS companies as a fully outsourced or staff augmentation model for QA. So we're all QA. That's all we do.
All QA.
All QA.
So that's what we're going to talk about today. QA.
Yes.
So,
all right.
So from I guess is that fall? I would say that's DevOps, right? DevSecOps.
The line is blurred for sure between us and between security testing for sure.
So where do you blur the line then?
I mean, if you really think about it and you try to make an interesting topic for this podcast, you could argue that security issues a lot of the times are misses in QA, and maybe not it's because somebody forgot to test something, but just like poor planning, poor strategy, input validation on the field, or whatever. So a lot of the problems you see down the line security just comes from a poor quality assurance process up front, trying to make sure you have everything buttoned up. Now, you will always need the security testing afterward. I don't think what we do supersedes security testing, but I do think it's a much less expensive way to catch things in QA as opposed to when they get in the field and they're a security issue, right? I mean, you and I both know that you don't want the price tag associated with a major security incident because you missed something functionality-wise during the development process. So that's kind of where we butt up against them, and we have a lot of really good partners in that space, and we even did it kind of a white label perspective at one point because it just marries up, just timing-wise with the SDLC that we come right before it's time to, pen testing, all your other sort of, performance, security testing, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really, really natural relationship between us and security for the life of as long as I've been in QA.
Right. Well, so, and that's interesting because I'm old. So like
I'm getting there.
SDLC and then DevOps came up. And obviously I understand, and well, I don't even know if this is DevOps, like, I've lived in the product management world too, where we went from waterfall to agile methodology and sprints. And so like, if we think about SDLC versus DevOps, is it just a nomenclature thing, or is there anything fundamentally different in that development life cycle?
I think that's a really interesting point. I think for the most part, it's nomenclature. It's kind of semantic, but I mean, if you really want to talk about the software development lifecycle, I think personally, deploying that to your customers is part of the cycle. So I mean, for the most part, DevOps is now very much intertwined, and even earlier in the process than they have traditionally been, right? I mean, all the environment stuff you can do now with Kubernetes and all these different containerized environments and all sorts of stuff. So yes, I think you basically consider it the end of the SDLC.
Okay. So from a QA perspective, what's the shit everybody screws up that you see constantly and you bang your head against the wall going, why are you still doing this?
From a QA perspective, I mean, it's more around incorrect expectations from a development perspective. Still, I don't understand if you're gonna have a QA process, which you should, why you tack it on as an afterthought, or why you have developers estimate the time it's going to take to test something. It's like, you wouldn't have a plumber estimate your roofing time. Like it's this completely separate thing. It's always baffled me how and I get it, right? Like everyone wants to get the most stuff out as they can, like pack every sprint with as many features as you can. And they're like, well, if we have to lose features for testing, then we'll just condense testing. And it's like, you can't just condense testing. Like, that's not like, it's not a, it's like water, right? You can't like, you can't condense it with your hands. Like it's something that takes the time that it takes to do. And you can speed it up with more people or automation. But for the most part, yeah, I would say the thing we still run into the most is just misalignment between what effort is involved in QA to produce a high quality application. And it's a lot. I mean, you need to really beat it up. So I think that's the biggest one.
Yeah, I can contrast that into security too, because we see that a lot with hey, we want to roll this new thing out and we'll just bolt the security on later. We don't need you. We don't want you guys, messing with the RFP or asking the vendor questions ahead of time. Just come in afterwards and put a stamp on it. And it's like, no, you want us in there at the beginning.
Right.
Like the reason we get viewed as a roadblock is because you do ignore us
right.
until the last minute. And then we're like, hey, look at all these red flags that you should have seen. Right. And as a former business analyst, I can appreciate like, the ability to get good requirements gathering and be able to, let the business know real expectations on, hey, this is how long it's going to take to develop and QA, and you've got like all of these processes, and you can't. It's I'd liken it to going back to like security or any technology, skipping out on the training, right? Like, oh, we just want the product, we want the tool, whatever it is, put it in place, and we'll figure out how to use it. Like,
yeah. Well, I think it's got to be led. It's an interesting point because product people, and you were one, and I've lived that role in my life. And I can tell you that, and you were probably different than I was in this aspect, but like security wasn't part of my plan when I was building products. I wasn't like, well, where does security fit into this? Like, and I think it's just a cultural American thing where we're like, just go as fast as you possibly can. Then when something explodes, like we'll deal with it, which is fine in some instances. But if you're in a regulated space or if you're in like some high risk thing, like you can't. So I don't know how to fix that, but I do know that it is a top down problem where the people that are further down in the chain are usually the ones to go like, wait a minute, like, hold on, we haven't done a penetration test. Like, we're about to launch this live. Like, what are we doing? In reality, that should have been driven by C-level, expectations, or even product level people where they're, that's part of the products they build is their security piece to it. So I think it's really a top down thing. You see that security just isn't thought about until it's not going to say too late, but too late in the process for sure.
Yeah. And we resolve that, or at least I preach or talk about like resolving that through like, that's where you need a comprehensive security program at the top, which is, you get the entire leadership team to understand the value, which means the security leaders, technology leaders have to translate to the business. Hey, this is, like you said, this is a critical business application. It's going to go out. This is what makes our money. We need to make sure before it goes out that it also doesn't just create a big hole for an attacker to come in and steal our money, right? So being able to have those conversations and then building out all of the like security should be intertwined into all the business processes. I see too often we get people very technical and very, they understand their area, their niche, whatever it is. But, I've made the joke. I've always gone in. It's not actually not a joke. It's pretty much just a fact. Every assessment or any advisory engagement I've ever done, I've always been told, oh, you just kind of talk to Bob and Mary and they'll give you everything you need to know. And I'm not even going in it from a security perspective. I mean, yeah, I'm gathering data to figure out, where are the assets and where's the risk lie. But I may just be like, hey, what's your card processing environment look like? How do you process credit cards? Or your business does this thing. How do you tell me about it? And I'll talk to those two people and then I'll be like, well, what happens if this happens? Oh, hold on, that's Joe. And then I go get Joe. And then I'll ask Joe some questions and be like, well, now you need Bob. And next thing I know, I got 15 people in the room for one business process. Good leadership was like, oh no, just these two people know everything.
Well, do you feel like, I feel like this sometimes with QA, do you feel like, we're selling the insurance of technology? I mean, that's what it feels like, right? I feel like we have a lot of the same pain points that we're selling to people where you don't want to be a fear-based seller, but you do have to kind of let people know the threats that they have against them and what the risk is they're doing. Do you find it is similar to you, or you're like kind of trying to do the insurance thing where it's like, it may not need it today, but like when you do, it's really going to be a big deal?
Yeah, it's super, it's exactly that way, and the fact that, you know, the old technology terminology of like, "We need ROI." I was like, "Security doesn't really do ROI, and QA probably doesn't do ROI
Nope.
either." It's the same
Right.
thing. It's, "No, what we're doing is it's insurance, it's protection." The analogy I always use is, if the business is a race car, we're the brakes, right?
Mm,
Nobody cares about them. They just want them to work, and they wanna spend as little as possible on it.
right.
And but when they're going 200 miles an hour into a corner, they want to know when they tap the brakes, they're going to work. So
Yep.
we always have to reframe that conversation, and that's most of what I talk about in LinkedIn a lot, is like that translation of, hey, here's the business, here's what you want to do. We found this risk. It means, you know, potentially X millions of dollars, or in your, you know, whatever it could be. Like, here's the potential impact. You can fix it for this much. You can ignore it and hope nothing happens, or you can find a way to transfer it. You know, or you can do. You know,
Right.
so it is literally that kind of same situation as the insurance company, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that kind of how you? I'm curious with your services, not to get into a commercial, but um, like how you do position that, like, versus hiring a team, because like I worked for a client a while ago who had like 80 custom applications and a dozen or so developers, and just put a QA team in,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 people.
Mm-hmm. You should connect me because they're gonna probably want to talk to us sooner than later. Yeah, I mean, so actually, what was the question there?
Well,
Sorry.
so let's make it
Yeah,
useful to people listening,
yeah.
right? If you're running a dev team of some kind, or you've got, you know, any kind of leadership of that organization and that quality assurance, how do they position, hey, I need QA and this is why?
Yeah, yeah. So comes in different flavors, just like with security. For the most part, we try to be very targeted. We're not just sending out. When I do outreach, we do account based sales. So we're mainly focused on Philadelphia right now. So just for like the business owner kind of stuff on this podcast. I always say, and we talked about this at the conference we met at too. It's like you own your backyard, right? Like own the place that you're in. Become known for doing that thing where you are. Be the someone of somewhere, right? Or,
Mhm.
just be like the guy or the company or whatever. So a lot of it, is around relationship building. Just like you guys, it's trust based. It's a lot. So I don't do a lot of direct, just like, hey, you guys need QA. Like it doesn't really go well, but we have had a lot of success in Philadelphia and elsewhere. We've just gone through so many different verticals and so many different things. We know the problems they're probably going to be facing, right? It's there's too many bugs in production. Things aren't getting out fast enough, or they just have no idea how to run QA in their company. A lot of these companies just want to build stuff. They just want to build cool stuff. And like, that's awesome. And they should be doing that. They don't worry about what browser and what device they need to be used and what version of this. And like, how do we do performance testing? They don't want to build that knowledge center in their organization. So a lot of the times it's cheaper and more cost effective to come to somebody like us who can kind of scale up and scale down as the SDLC is a
Mhm.
cycle, but there's definitely parts that are much more intense than the other. Oh my God, we got to get stuff out, by next Friday to get and so you need a lot of testing effort, but then you get it out in production and that kind of ramps down a little bit. But if you got W2 guys just sitting there twiddling their thumbs, like trying to find something to do, it's a big cost center. So
Mm.
there's a lot of different pain points that we have seen. We try to get to them pretty quickly and understand them quickly. I'm not just shotgunning general stuff at people. I'm like, it's a health tech company in Philadelphia, specifically around data. Oh, by the way, you probably have these issues or these concerns with your test data, right? There's something else on the security
Mhm.
side that I wanted to bring up was just, something that's very security esque in the QA world is test data, right? Like,
Mm. Yeah.
especially healthcare,
So many
PII.
production
Oh my God,
databases just copied over and
it's a nightmare. And then that becomes like a potential risk, right? Like now you have all this PII that was in production. Now it's just sitting on some probably less secure server in development somewhere that people can get into. So staging clean test data has been a big part of that. And so anyway, if you're using big data, that's another thing we can go after, right? It's like, hey, we know how to test big data. We've tested the the dashboard for PBS where all the executives sit down and make the decisions on their show, which is, which shows are going on and which ones are being canceled and everything else. And that comes from millions and millions of data points from all their streaming services and everything else. So if we're going after a company that's using big data, we'd probably use an example like that. We would probably also say, hey, here's the things that you're probably dealing with. And if one of those strikes a chord, we'll have a conversation. And then again, I'm not salesy. I want people to come to me when they need me. It's just like my friend who owns a mobile app development studio. He's like, I can't make people need a mobile app,
right?
And I can't make people need QA, right? It's just like if they don't need it, they don't need it, and it's not something I'm going to push on somebody. So, and there's times where W2 staff makes more sense, and there's just different. Maybe you have a couple of W2, maybe a whole team of W2. Our job is to kind of fit nicely in with whatever existing team you have, and so depending on company size, vertical problems that they may have, people that we know there, et cetera. We try to build some sort of tailored pitch to those folks just to get them on the call, just to build a conversation, get them on the podcast, say hello, get to meet them, meet their tech team. And then when they need QA, like we're here. And that's why I think building the footprint and a name in your town, city, state, whatever, is so powerful because like if you have 15 to 20 to 50 opportunities open like that at any given time, somebody's going to come back to you and it's going to be more often than you think, right? You start to build that so we're more of a long tail kind of sales cycle, but I like it that way anyway. I don't want to piss anybody off by pitching at them and lose that opportunity down the line to, have a business development relationship where when they do need us, they think about us and we're not just some annoying guy on LinkedIn who was like spamming them with QA messages. So kind of long-winded way to answer that question, but we were like all about outbound sales and hyper targeting. I don't want to waste their time or our time on messaging or a pitch that just isn't really, you get those all the time. Just have nothing to do with you in your email box. You're like, how am I even, what targeting these guys doing? Yeah, I don't sell tires. Like, why would I, whatever weird thing you're trying to send me. So anyway, yes, very targeted and try to be very, intentional about the outbound we do.
I love it. It's a kind of down a rabbit hole, but again, like I do try to talk about stuff that helps people who run businesses as well. And that is my mantra for sales 100%. It's like spend 20 hours finding 5 people to talk to instead of calling 600 people to book like 10 meetings that don't matter. Right.
Yep.
So and like, keep it simple, man. Like, hey, this is a problem you probably have. We helped somebody else do it. This is what their outcome was. Simple Josh Braun stuff, right? Personal thing that ties it to a problem you have, an outcome that you want. Hey, are you interested? Like, that's it. Like, that's all.
Yep.
I need. It's the same thing. Like I connect with people and I share all my content. And the point is, if you need me, you know where I'm at. Like,
and also if they could do it already, like they would be doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Like a lot of people are afraid to like give out the secret sauce, and it's like tell everybody everything.
Yeah, but
like,
dude, that I don't understand that. I believe in educating I'm happy to. I just did we had our event a couple weeks ago, and in 60 minutes, I literally walked like 40 people through how to build a cybersecurity risk program from the beginning to the end with a worksheet. Like they didn't like they could have left with everything there and gone and done it and never need me or us ever again, right? Like they have until they figure out, oh, there's a problem here. This is hard, and to the secret sales side of it, that's the point. You educate them, and then they realize.
Spoiler alert, they're not going to do it themselves.
Yeah,
they're just not. They wouldn't be at the conference like trying to find an answer if they could have just. I mean, if you can't do it with ChatGPT and somebody's still talking to you or still coming to listen to you, then there's a probably pretty good chance that you're the one that they're going to come to when they need help with that thing. So totally agree on the thought leadership kind of thing.
You need some expertise about it. That's great. Cool. So I'm glad we went down that. We had a nice rounded conversation and looped it back into sales too as well. So that's a fun passion for me on the GTM side. So yeah, I could talk to you forever, but I won't. Where can people find you on the interwebs if they want to?
I'm all over LinkedIn, I like how people say that. Like, what does that even mean? You're all over LinkedIn. I don't even know what that means. I'm on LinkedIn.
On it a lot?
I'm on. I guess you're just like, but it's like a presumptuous thing to say. Like, I'm all over the place. Everybody knows me.
I think
nobody
if you
knows me.
respond to DMs within like a day, then you're all over.
Okay, all right, then I'm all over it. Jay Aigner, Aigner, on LinkedIn, and then JDA QA.com for any QA stuff, or just reach out through the website. And happy to talk anything QA. So appreciate it. Wil, you've been awesome, dude.
Yeah, man, this has been fun. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you.
You got it.
Thanks for enjoying Keyboard Samurai Podcast. If you'd like to engage, find Wil on LinkedIn at /Wil Klu or visit at wilklu.me. That's WILKLU.me for more info. Disconnecting now. Synac you later.